Hello and welcome to the Formation Lap. Coming up on the show, we'll debrief everything that went down at the Air Touch 500 at the Bend. We'll catch up with the winner, Brodie Kostecki. We'll also jump into a debrief with Will Brown and find out all about the interesting weekend they had at the Red Bull Ampol Racing team. Let's say a big hello and welcome to Neil Crompton, who joins me. Good to see you, Neil. Before we get to the debrief for the Bend, let's catch up on some breaking news that we've seen around what the driver lineup is going to look like on the grid for the Repco Supercars Championship in 2026. And probably the headline story has been around Cam Hill departing Matt Stone Racing, taking up a seat at Brad Jones Racing. Of course, a big year for them next year, coming on as the second Toyota team. So tell me why you think Cam Hill is a good fit at Brad Jones Racing.
The silly season has well and truly kicked off. Yeah, so I think he's a decent fit because he did an outstanding job at the Grand Prix earlier in the year. He became a supercar race winner. He started his supercar career at Bathurst in 2022, having transited Toyota 86 successfully, became Carrera Cup champion, solid and fast, and got results in Dunlop Super 2. So he's been clawing his way through the game, and of course he stuck it on the front row when we were at the Bend last time out. So he's got pace, and Bradley wanted to fortify the driver lineup in 2026. So I think he'll be a great fit.
Well, we caught up with him after the announcement. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it's super exciting to be joining Brad and to be linking with Toyota next year. It's something that I think's super exciting for the category to have Toyota here as a manufacturer. You know, they're a very serious company and sort of have success everywhere across the globe. So for them to be here in Australia and having a crack at supercars is very exciting. So yeah, and I'm really keen to do it with Brad. I see, you know, how he goes about his business. You know, I can see the ingredients are there for us to have success.
So a multi-year deal for Cam Hill at Brad Jones Racing, which means that Bryce Fullwood departs. And there's obviously been plenty of speculation, Neil, around the silly season taking the next step. I think Cam Hill's probably been the first domino in that. Unsure as to whether or not Bryce Fullwood might bob up somewhere. We're hearing that there's going to be potentially some changes at Premier Racing. We know that the Blanchard Racing team are looking to fill that seat for James Courtney. So we are anticipating a little bit more change, and it's going to be one of the big stories through the back end of the season. How does that change the complexion of what we're going to see on track as everyone tries to find a home for next year?
Well, there'll be extra determination to make sure that they've got enough performance to be able to validate a ride for 2026. That doesn't ever really change in reality. So it'll be game on. There's still a few vacancies, so there'll be a lot to fight for.
One of the other big stories, of course, heading into Bathurst is the incredible performance we saw from Brodie Kostecki and Todd Hazelwood, who virtually picked up where they left off after claiming the Bathurst 1000 last year to be winners at the Air Touch 500 at the Bend.
So Brock gets another pole, 14 for this championship year. We're marching towards the finals. And now, the very first of the Enduros at the Bend.
Rock this lap. Getting to front the driver's chamber. Getting to front the driver's chamber. You'll be getting out. I'm ready to go. Clear.
And as the reigning Bathurst champion, Brodie is once Endurance Racing as a winner at the Bend.
Car number 38 from Shell Female Racing, Brodie Kostecki and Todd Hazelwood.
Different car, different team, but same emphatic performance from Brodie Kostecki and Todd Hazelwood at the Bend. It's great to have Brodie on the line. Congratulations once again. Just tell me, what is the feeling heading to Bathurst now that you have claimed that precursor?
Yeah, definitely. I think having a bit of momentum on your side is always a good thing going into the biggest race of the year. So, yeah, it was great to obviously cap off with that win there with everyone at Shell V-Power Racing, and to share another memory inside the car. You know, sharing that win with Todd as well was, you know, fantastic. He's obviously Adelaide, you know, born and bred South Australian, so it was a pretty cool moment.
Hey, Brodie, it was an outstanding drive. Congratulations for both of you. Was there anything left at all in the tank? Because it was incredibly intense and the margin between you and Cam continued to seesaw. Did you have anything up your sleeve, or were you on the mat?
Actually, it's, you know, the first stint when I hopped in the car, you know, the car was actually quite nervous to drive, so it was pretty loose in the rear end. And we had to make some changes, for the final pit stop. And, once we tuned the car up, I was able to just, find my pace that I could run. And, I'm always thinking about the next thing that could happen. So just made sure I had a bit left in the tank if there was a safety car or whatnot. But, the car was a pleasure to drive the whole weekend. And, Todd did such a fantastic job to put us in, such a good position, for when I hopped in the car.
I don't think Todd's actually wiped that smile off his face since Bathurst last year, and he definitely had it plastered on at the end of the bend. He did a beautiful job. It was a little bit of a shaky launch for him. He said he didn't get the best start, but he was really confident. The pass that he made on Whincup was superb. From your point of view, how have you seen Todd Hazelwood grow as a driver, just in terms of his confidence off the back of the win at Bathurst and the way you were able to see that translate at the bend?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, obviously sitting there and, watching the start happen. And it's been a long time since the co-drivers have started. So I was, sick to my stomach, not being inside the car. But, I knew that once he didn't get the start, I was looking over at his parents at, Russ and Sharon, and I could see the disappointment. But I knew that, Todd, was, incredibly fast. So, and he's such a smart driver as well. He's got a wise head on young shoulders, and just picked his way through the field again. But I've always known that Todd's had such a great ability behind the wheel, and it's great that he's been able to showcase that partnering alongside me, which has been great.
There was a lot of noise in the lead up to the event, Brodie, about the parity tweaks to the Mustang. The beauty of endurance racing is you get to sit in the car for a long period of time and you feel every little nuance in the car, everything that it's got. Did you sense any realistic changes? Was there any take from that for you after you'd spent such a long period in the car?
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of a hard one to really tell, but I guess the car that I drove last year, I never complained about parity once, and this one, it's been a bit challenging so far throughout the year, but it was it was obviously a lot of talk about changes going into the round, but it's great that everyone at Supercars Technical, acknowledged that there was an issue, and they've, tried to address it. And, but the real tell will be going into the mountain. That's where the Fords were quite weak, for the past 2 years in Gen 3. So time will tell, where we're at.
A lot of what happens at the bend, as we said, it's the precursor. It's a bit of a dress rehearsal for what we're going to see at Bathurst. It's all about pit stops, driver changes, and making sure all of those things are really tidied up. From that perspective, how are you feeling heading to the mountain? Because, as we said, you've obviously got George Commons with you. You rekindled with Todd Hazelwood, but it's a completely different team, a completely different car. Have you wrapped your head around what the title defence is going to feel like once you get to the mountain, given all of that?
Well, I tell you what, it's never too late than never to find some form. So I felt like at QR we were, sort of had a bit of a pep in our step again, and the car's been a little bit more consistent as of late. We've definitely shown some, great spurts of speed throughout the year, but it hasn't been really that consistent. So we've been working pretty hard on that, and endurance season is one of my favourite times of the year, where you get to share the car with another driver, and to share it with Todd. He's so enthusiastic and always has a big smile on his face, and he's just a great guy to have around the workshop. So it's always a pleasure when he's around. And I was jokingly speaking to him just prior to Enduros. I said, mate, we'll get it sorted by the time you hop in. So I'm glad that we did, and to get that win on home soil for him was really cool.
Well, all you got to do is just carry that momentum to the mountain. We can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us up there. Thanks for having a chat with us on the Formation Lap, Brode. We'll see you at the mountain.
Thanks, guys. See you there.
See you, mate.
And here's confirmation of what the championship standings look like heading to Mount Panorama. We've locked in the top 6 for finals, which is absolutely fantastic. So Bathurst is really going to count for those bottom 4. Kai Allen did a great job to jump into the top 10. There's only 134 points separating 9th to 13th, so plenty to play for there. In terms of the team's championship, Penrite Racing hold only a very slim margin over Tickford for second place. So that's going to be a big story as well when we get to the mountain. And confirmation of the Repco Enduro Cup standings. Brodie Kostecki obviously leading the charge there. Cameron Waters and Matthew Payne rounding out the top 3. All right, time for a quick break here on the Formation Lap. When we come up next, Will Brown is going to join us for a debrief of what was a very interesting weekend for the Red Bull Ampol Racing team.
Oh, I don't know the answer to this one. You're not meant to. You asked me.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that right? You're not meant to.
Do you want me to do an intro or anything? Or? Okay. What does everyone seem to like that you can't stand?
Oh, that's a really hard question.
Yeah.
You.
It's not very nice.
No, I don't know.
Do you dislike, like a lot of people into run clubs and that these days and running. Do you like running?
Oh, I can't run.
Yeah,
Thanks
true.
for reminding me.
Yeah, sorry. This is going really well.
Way to build a guy up, mate, for enduros. All right, what's the one app you can't live without?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think Instagram. I've just got onto TikTok, and TikTok is, oh god, you can scroll for a long time.
What celebrity would you like to trade places with?
Well, I don't know if you'd class him as a celebrity, but I think I'd like to try being Max Verstappen's shoes for a little bit. Like I like jets, he's got a jet, he's got a nice boat, and he's racing cars.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good time.
I'll swap places with you, take your seat. I'll go main game, you can be co-driver. What's a question, you wish more people asked you, mate?
Can I buy that car off you? It'd be so much easier to sell them. Can I buy that car off you? Too easy. Here you go. Take it.
This is like the money one. What warning label would you put on me?
Caution, don't talk to. That's spoken.
Don't talk to me. Caution.
What's something people often get wrong about you?
I don't know. I think some people take things personally when I say them, when I mean them constructively. I think some people get it wrong how I try and say things. I think my delivery sometimes is taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
Have you ever disliked each other? Had a clash on track that you can remember?
I ran him off the road at SMP, and then you took Scott out. You took Brock off the road just because you weren't happy at us.
I was angry at all these young kids like getting to the exits of corners. They won't run side by side. They just unwind the lock and drive everyone off. And so I was angry, and Brock was an innocent bystander, but he was young. And I thought, here's another young bloke, and I just opened a wheel. And then you said yesterday, no, that's what we do now. That's how we race.
That's how we
I'm
race now, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was upset at me.
The slow zone is on the exit of 3. Exit of 3 is the P3 board. You alright, mate? Jamie hit me. Jamie hit me out of 3. I think the car's pretty bad. I think it's over the change, mate. Have a look at that footing up next. Fix it up. I don't know what happened. Like I slowed down for the sector 3, like that P3 on the exit of turn 3. Slowed down to the 80 and as I hit the brake to slow down, I just got hit. Yeah, I've hit the back of Scott in this flat. Damage front right. Yeah, copy me. Yeah, sorry guys, the P3 board.
It is going to be fascinating to see what the rebound looks like for the Red Bull Ampol racing team after a drama-filled weekend at the Bend. They're going to have to brush that off because all eyes on Bathurst, Neil Crompton. That is where we're headed next for the Repco Bathurst 1000. And don't we have a jam-packed week? We've got 6 practice sessions, a qualifying, a top 10 shootout, a warm-up, and then a lazy 1,000 Ks around the mountain.
It is all-you-can-eat supercars, flat out from the street parade on Wednesday night all the way through to late on Sunday. 10 supercar occurrences through practice, through qualifying, which is my favourite part of the weekend. Top 10 shootout was epic at Bathurst. It's where it all started all those years ago. And then, as you say, we do 161 laps on Sunday. It'll be great. Yeah,
you say qualifying's your favourite. Tell me why, because there's a few sessions to pick from over the course of the weekend, some mega moments that we always look forward to. Why do you love qualifying so much?
Because at this stage of the year, everybody knows their act. Everybody's got their cars well and truly sorted. The drivers are at one with their cars. 40 minutes, they throw Dunlop tyres at them. We've got the new soft tyre this year, which is proving to be a pretty handy thing, and they will go hard and they will just keep feeding tyres and making speed. So I love the intensity of it. If you look at the margins at the end of quali last year, first to second, Payne to Waters, 6 1,000ths of a second, tells you everything.
I guess the added storyline heading into Bathurst this year, of course, is the whole notion of finals and those that are sitting right on the bubble. Kai Allen, Cam Hill, Andre Heimgartner, Nick Percat, all need to make Bathurst translate speculate if they're going to be part of that final series once we get to the Gold Coast. So let's bring Will Brown into the conversation now. He's on the line. Hey, Will, congratulations on securing your finals berth. That was probably the silver lining for you at the Bend. How are you feeling now that that is done and dusted? Because it was a bit of a tricky weekend for you guys.
Yeah, hey Jess and Neil. Yeah, it's great to obviously have our secured ticket going into the finals into the final 3 rounds at Gold Coast. Obviously, hasn't probably felt like the best year on our side of the garage. Probably just lacked in qualifying even more this year, which has been a little bit disappointing. But the Bend was a tough weekend. Obviously didn't go to plan on Saturday. Unfortunately, we missed a practice session and a half from the contact between the 2 cars, and then. Yeah, unfortunately, qualifying once again really caught me out and just didn't finish where we wanted to, but made some good passes, getting back up through. Scotty did a fantastic job. I think you see him here making a fair few moves, but Scotty did all the hard lifting that day, so did a great job. And we'll try to bounce back and do a really good job at Bathurst.
Hey, Will, I want to drill down on the qualifying thing, and I know these are sore points for drivers when we try and drill into it, and if you had the answers, it would be evident, but I'm still going to try. So when we look over the course of the year, I see 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 17s, 18s. There's been a bunch of results that are not indicative of the normal pace that we've seen from you over many, many years. Clearly, if you had the answer, you wouldn't be dealing with that at the moment, but have you got any hunches? Is it the jumping between the tyre variants, the variation of the new soft tyre? Have you guys migrated set up into another area? Have you got any vague thoughts as to what it might be that's catching you out? Because the race pace, point to point, is epic, 16th to 4th at the Bend, but qualifying's a dead set pain for you.
Yeah, it has been, unfortunately. Somehow in practice and that, we pop it up there and we get some all right runs in and that. But just in qualifying, I feel like we get super edgy in our car. Like, it's hard to actually carry speed to the corner because the rear wants to come around. So we've been trying to fix that a lot and make that feeling in the car better for me. Some people, don't have... They probably, don't correct as much, where I find I do a lot of corrections. Once I feel it wanting to let go, I want to correct that. And, it ends up just slowing the entry down and really struggling with that side of it. And potentially that's a new tyre thing. We've gone to the new, I think it's a soft, they call it this year, but it's even soft, like faster than the super soft. It seems to create a little bit more turn in the car. And unfortunately, we just struggle a little bit more on that tyre right now on my side of the garage. So, there's a lot of things I've been looking at to see if I can do better. Got a simulator in the workshop that's quite good now. I've been using that. So trying to do a lot of things. Unfortunately, we can be fast at times and even 1 lap pace, but just our qualifying hasn't seemed to be there.
I'm sure that's been one of the topics in the debrief for you guys. I'm interested to know what else popped up, because there were a few challenges, as we said, obviously the contact on Saturday between the co-drivers, but then equally the refuelling issue that Brock and Jamie had in the pit stop on Sunday. Can you just give us sort of an overarching view of what was discussed and I guess how you look to try and mitigate some of that risk once we get to Bathurst?
Yeah, I think we do a fantastic job of pre-briefing, debriefing, doing all of our meetings and all of that. And unfortunately for Jamie, it was just probably, I'm not really sure what the word to use, just a bit of a brain fade. Coming out of the corner, he thought that the sector line was a little bit further out of the corner than it was, and it just caught him off guard. And unfortunately, that's something that can happen very easy in our sport. And the cars were running close together and made contact. It was disappointing for us, obviously, because we missed a session and a little bit more of the next one due to it, but there's not much you can do there. So that was probably uncharacteristic for our team, but also the refueling was the same thing. Generally you don't, I think, see us make those sort of small little mistakes, but unfortunately it shows that they can happen, and you need to keep, always trying to improve and better your processes and procedures to make sure it doesn't happen again. So, it was unfortunate for Brock's side of the garage that happened, and we're very fortunate that it didn't. But, I think knowing the team that I'm in and knowing the guys and girls that work there, we'll bounce back strong at Bathurst and they'll come out swinging harder than ever.
One of the beauties of what we've got for 2025, though, Will, is that there's a reset moment after Bathurst. So to a degree, you can pull all of that you've been talking about in the rearview mirror, because everybody ends up with equal points, and then you get some bonus points for those that are in the top 10. So there's still a very solid chance for you to back up your championship.
Yeah, there definitely is. It is a bit of a weird way that the championship works this year. I'd love to try and beat Matt Payne at Bathurst and come second in this part of the championship. And then heading into Gold Coast, like you say, it resets. So really, it's about not having a DNF at Gold Coast, not making a mistake there, heading through to Sandown. I think we're always quite competitive at Sandown, Red Bull Ampol. So got to try and get through to there and then have a really good round there. But unfortunately, you don't know. You could be out at, Gold Coast. You could make it all the way through. It's small mistakes, even like that refueling issue could hurt people heading through to the finals. So it's going to be a very interesting time. I'm quite excited for it, also nervous, but it's going to be cool.
First things first, though, before we get to finals, it's Bathurst. You were on the podium last year. How are you feeling about your chances heading to the mountain this year?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think it's a great track. Everyone wants to win Bathurst. It's been awesome. So I've got my first podium there, but we want to go a bit better and stand on that top step this year. So Scott's doing a great job. I think he's as dedicated as ever to try and win it this year. And we'll put our best foot forward. Unfortunately, you don't really know till you get there and get into the race. There's so much that can go on, and it is a weird one. People say the mountain chooses the winner, and sometimes you feel like it does. Brodie Kostecki coming back last year after missing 2 rounds and winning it. Sometimes those things happen, but hopefully we can bounce back and have a really solid one there and try and win it.
Hey, Captain Brown, are you cleared direct to Bathurst to fly there?
Yep. At this stage, as long as weather permits, but I'll fly down there on Tuesday. I'll head down. Saves a lot of mucking around. It takes me an hour and a half to get there, so it's pretty good.
Well, it'll be a race because I think Captain Crompton's also flying in, so we'll see you on the tarmac. Hey, well, thanks for joining us on the Formation Lap. We'll see you at the mountain.
Cheers. Thanks, Jess and Neil.
See you, mate.
And we are headed for a really busy time right here on Fox Sports. We've got you covered for the Repco Bathurst 1000. The Bathurst Channel fires up on Monday, the 6th of October. That'll include the Bathurst preview show that'll feature everything you need to know heading into the great race. We'll also have the Bathurst Street Party on Wednesday night, and our live coverage from the track begins Thursday, the 9th of October. Can't wait to get to the mountain. I think Will's right. The mountain is going to choose. It does every single year. It's almost impossible to predict what's going to happen.
It's such a great time of the year for us in supercar competition, and it is an epic event. It's the one place where you drive up over the hill in Panorama Drive and you see the sign on the hill, the hair stands up, and you think about all of the things that have occurred there over the years. I was doing stats, go figure, leading into what's going to be our biggest weekend of the year. 13 of the last 19 have been determined either by just less or just more than 1 second. That kind of tells the whole story for me. I love it.
Pretty much the only thing that you can predict about Bathurst is we'll probably see Skippy. We might see an echidna. There could be a rogue snake on the track, but it will be epic. It's
and one
never
or two
the
in
same.
the pit paddock as well, as it happens.
The Bathurst 1000 is never the same year on year, so we cannot wait to get up there and do some storytelling at the mountain. Neil Crompton, thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
It's been great to see you here on the Formation Lap, and thanks to you at home for your company. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time at Mount Panorama.